Hey, young men, young women, how do you get that promotion at work? How do you go from being just a nobody to something that makes enough money to support a family? I found a very interesting article online that was about the current CEO, so the president of Walmart. And he talks about in this article how he went from kind of nobody working in the warehouse in the summer of 1984 at the age of 17, and going from that to the guy in charge of everything, president, CEO of Walmart. Um, so the author writes, since 1984, since then he's scaled the retail giant's ranks from unloading trailers for $6.50 an hour to becoming the company's youngest CEO since its founder, Sam Walton, with a $25 million salary to show for it. In the 30 years between starting out and taking the reins in 2014, McMillan went from promotion to promotion, holding a store assistant role in Tulsa before getting his door in the headquarters in January of 1991 as the fishing tackle buyer, working his way up in management. Now he says he has many of Walmart's 2.1 million workers email him asking how they can emulate his success at the company. And his response has been volunteer to cover your boss more. Interesting. So take on more duties, volunteer, do more than you're being paid to do. One of the reasons that I got the opportunities that I had was that I would raise my hand when my boss was out of town and he or she was visiting stores or something. He recently revealed in an interview. So a lot of times, when you get into a job, you're very focused on your duties. Like, and hey, that's not my job. You're asking me to do something that's not my job. That's very short-sighted. So he added that he would even offer to step in for his boss in meetings, whether or not he was prepared to answer all the questions that came up. And so he also says instead of brushing off queries above his pay grade and waiting for his manager's return, he would proactively respond, I don't know, but I'll find out. I'll find out fast and get back to you. He said, then I put myself in an environment where I became a low risk promotion because people had already seen me do the job. McMillan concludes. So he was acting like a store manager when he was being paid as a clerk. Maybe he was acting as a regional manager for tackle gear when he was being a store manager. Maybe he was acting like a CEO when he was in the corporate office buying fishing fishing gear. But very interesting, taking on more than he was responsible for, taking on higher responsibilities, so that it was a low risk. They had already seen him do that job when he was working as a clerk. Maybe they saw him work as a department manager. When he was doing that work, they saw he was very proactive and he was doing well at a store manager job, even before he was being paid to do that. So it was an easy, low risk promotion because people saw him doing it already. So McMillan gave two more tips from rising through the company's ranks from the bottom to the top, like he did. Do your job well and be a team player. Don't take your current job for granted. The next job doesn't come if you don't do your current one and do it well. Now on to another CEO, Christo, who is CEO of Britain's biggest sandwich chain. He also kind of echoed the same thought. and said, you know, you need to be kind to your peers and your coworkers. And he says, I've watched people that have been so fixated on the next role that they really take their eye off their current job they're doing. My philosophy has always been, if you do a great job, people will notice you. So he also said, I was generally the youngest person or the shortest in a role within my peer group when I got promoted. Most of the time throughout my career, he said, if you work hard and put your head down, things happen. So my advice to you, you want that promotion at work? Work hard, take on more duties. When your boss is out of town, say, hey, you're out of town. What can I do? What roles do you have I can take on while you're gone so there's no problems at work? The bottom line, be the best that you can, never stop improving. Do a job beyond what you're being asked or paid to do, and the promotions will come. Be the best person you can. Take on a role above your current duties, even when you're not paid to do that. You'll excel. You'll rise to the top. It's like in the Bible when Joseph was sold as a slave into Egypt. He took that and he became the greatest servant that Potiphar had. He, regardless of his situation, when Potiphar's wife lied about him and he was sent to prison, he rose to the top. He did the best he could in that situation and had responsibilities, had privileges even in prison. And that led to him becoming the second most powerful person in Egypt, being the Pharaoh's right hand man when he interpreted that dream. Do the best that you can all the time, take on more, it will always pay off.